And then we kind of try to tailor to business and entrepreneurs and business only. And for the most part, we've been sticking on that. We had a couple politicians. We'll mix it in with different types of people, but I feel like we weren't resonating with it with a particular audience because we were so broadly
And all over the place.
right everywhere. And to this day, I think we kind of we have an idea where we want to go and who we're catering to, but then there's also quality control, getting the quality to a point where once you get their attention, you get their eyes, and they stay with you. You know what I'm saying? They become a fan, or they follow, they hit the subscribe, or they watch a whole episode. So I think that's the next level that we're at. King, I don't know, you may disagree,
No, I'm with you. Like, kind of just the audience that we do have, kind of like tapping into what they are actually into. So Frank and I both have business outside of this, and so my business outside of this, I know what I want. I know what I want. I know where I'm going. I know who wants it. I know when they want it, where they want it, how
Hmm.
they want it. And I'm sure Frank has that too in his other business. But here we haven't narrowed that down or hit that nail on the head just quite yet. Right?
So matter of fact, maybe we can have a quick
We
little
figure it out, man.
consultation.
Let's do
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
let's
yeah,
figure it
yeah.
out right now. So what conversations do you guys want to have?
see, even that, I can answer that, but I don't know if it's the right answer. So so figuring shit out is about inspiring people to figure their life out, break out the rat race, become entrepreneurs or become independent in some kind of way, break away from the system. That's my interpretation, speaking for myself.
Right. And for me, it's more like exposing and sharing the moments of other entrepreneurs who have figured things out or decided to move in a particular way, right? And somebody can catch that and learn from that and say, all right, look at themselves like, oh, I'm bugging. I'm tripping. I'm in the way, right? So,
Hmm.
and this person figured it out and they're doing it. So let me go ahead and get on this horse and get riding.
Okay, okay. So with that, like you say, y'all's guests should definitely be entrepreneurs, and since we're in the social space, and I'm guessing you guys really want to grow this platform, I would say even
Mm-hmm.
if you find social entrepreneurs who are doing something that's outside of what the their comfort zone is and who are actually making a living off of it, that probably would be your best place to go.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, both you guys are in Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even if you use some of the people around here that are like doing it like on a big level, like I would like legit reach out to, I don't know if you know Kristen and J Rod who have the And Then We Had
Oh,
Sex
yeah,
podcast.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we know.
Yeah. Like
They were
them.
we reached out to them, they were gonna come on, but then I think scheduling got in the way.
Yes. So I would reach out to those people or people who build solid followings, brands, not even if it's not so like, Stormy Blue, couple other people, Rob Hill. It's a lot of people,
Mhm.
Boss Bags, like people who do some dope stuff in the area who wouldn't mind hopping on and dropping gems. Like that's gonna be the thing that's gonna grow it,
Right.
quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
And
we
so that
had
was,
go ahead.
I was saying that was kind of how, because he said, Frank was saying, we just talk to anybody. And I'm like, yeah, because a lot of people have a moment where they figure some things out, right? And it doesn't matter, if it's business per se, but if we're talking to them and they have some kind of motion or some kind of movement. They had a moment where they're like, oh, I'm going to move in this particular way now, and that story can be a learning pillar for somebody else, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
This is a great segue. This is a great question. Because again, I'm picky, I'm quality control. I
Hmm.
mm-hmm.
don't like just doing anything,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
At one point I was like, we need to just talk to certain caliber of people with for the
He
following.
was like, they needed 1 million followers. They
No,
needed
no, I ain't saying nothing like
100.
that. I was just saying like people that are established online because there were times where we talked to a few people that weren't even online, had no
Hmm.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, nothing. And that's cool, it was fine, but it was at the end of the day, it was like, that might have been just like, light sparring for us or whatever. But
Yeah, I feel
I
like
won't,
doing that, not to cut you off, I feel
yeah,
like doing that is like kind of doing yourself a disservice. And not saying like the only value people have is if they have a social media following. But I mean, if you're looking to kind of grow a platform,
right.
then you're going to need people who have a little bit of movement, especially on social, to kind of share your message. Because right
Facts.
now it's all about, collaborating, kind of getting what you guys want out there. Because like I said, if you guys drop from this interview, you say, hey, we're going to drop 3 or 4 clips. I'm going to collab on all of them.
Yeah,
and my audience is going to, attach, and a couple people going to follow y'all, of course.
appreciate
That's
it.
but if you're doing this every week with people who have some type of movement, it's going to help out. And
See,
I
I
feel
think we're on
like,
the same page.
yeah, yeah.
Me on the
And-
same page. We get no King Cooper. He likes at one point like we were getting into it. Like I wasn't saying we was arguing or nothing, but he was like, let's just book anybody, and I was like, no, we can't. I just didn't have, and then that would have been a disservice to me because I'm cool with people. I like talking to people, but not everybody. I just want to just get in the ring with and do an interview just because they said yes. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And
And you
that's
got and you just got to think about, what does your audience want? Like if you say, hey, we're building an audience, people who really ride with us, people who love us and love what we're about,
mm,
like they want to, when they know that a new Figure Shit Out episode drops, they want to know, like, all right, I know I'm gonna come to expect this. But if your guests are all over the place, even though the core message might be the same, like somebody who figures stuff out in fatherhood and somebody who figures stuff out in entrepreneurship is going to be different people who have different mentalities. But if you say, hey,
mm,
we won't only want to talk with people who've figured shit out in entrepreneurship, then the conversation, the audience is all going to look a certain way. And you just kind of keep feeding them that same thing from different
right.
vantage points every time.
And then
So
build a core audience.
Mhm.
Once you get a core, you could venture out and do test the waters or whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like
You could see.
you gotta start with a niche and then you grow out, but you can't go wide and then try to go small,
Mm.
audience wise.
I understand that. I understand that. I ain't defending myself, but I also wanted to get the I also wanted to get the reps right, to get the reps in there,
Yeah, yeah.
just to have the conversations right. And if you can pull a figuring shit out moment with a father or comedian or entrepreneur or
Hmm.
financial advisor, right, then you can probably get a figuring shit out moment. Because I did the segment, so I've been right. I go outside to events like this Peanut Fest and Caribbean Fest, different places where the people are. And
Hmm.
my thing was, let's go talk to some of the business owners and get their figuring shit out moment while they're working, right? That was something that I did, and I felt like that was a good thing, and that was probably catering to our audience. But again, like he's saying, they didn't have any social presence, or big social presence, so they had the figuring shit out moment piece. They just was
Mhm.
missing the social piece, right?
Right, 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 right.
So
So yeah,
that's, yeah.
yeah.
But
So
this is about you. Go
Look,
ahead,
yeah,
Frank.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was about to say. That's what I
look
was
at us
about
having a therapy session.
to say. Right. And he just made a segue I was about to make. So
Yeah.
Project 20K, tell us how that came about, what inspired that, what's the goal there? Have you met it? Have you not met it? Are you close? What's going on with that?
So Project 20K is a series I decided to make on Instagram where in my business, my goal for this year is to hit a 20,000 month. Where I make 20,000 in 1 month. And the reason I want to do that is because a couple of years ago, I used to do a series, or all my videos started with like, I'm Rashad, I'm 38, and I'm building a multi-million dollar content
I
agency.
remember that. Yeah.
That used to be so daunting because like multi-million, like what number is that? How I'm gonna get there? Like all this type of stuff. And people used to say this line back to me all the time. And I was just like, all right, I know I created it, but even just hearing people say it was like, oh, this is like such a task. And I don't know where to start it. So this year, like I said, last year I was kind of like off social media as far as like not being consistent. So this year when I was like, all right, I'm gonna hop back up there, I was like, all right, I need to create a series. Cause series works. My page was pretty much dead. So I started like, all right, I know creating a content series is gonna work. People can latch on to, people can kind of follow your journey, all that good stuff. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna create a series on how I can actually hit my first goal, which is just making 20,000 a month.
Mm,
Um, and with that goal, the reason that number is so vital for me because I feel like that's the number I need to hit where my business, it's a small one in my business overall, but that's the number one things can really start to change. So right now, for the majority, even though I have a admin and I have people that help me, that's when I can really start to hire um, 2 to 3 videographers, creatives who can actually be on the squad, who can actually take off, take a lot of this work off my hands.
right.
As well as I can still live the life that I want to live and live a comfortable life while building a business. So I was like, all right, if I stretch myself and if I make every video about how I'm actually going about trying to achieve that or fixing a particular problem in my business, and just a video being about that, then it's going to push me outside of my comfort zone to actually be able to reach this goal of hitting 20,000 in 1 month. And I know you asked like how close am I? Like, so last month I had my biggest month, and I just started the series back in June. Um, so last month I hit 11,000, eleven
Wow.
thousand eighty, I believe, 180.
Wow, that's dope. That's
Um,
almost half, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm almost there, and this month I'm on par, doing a little bit more than I think maybe at 12. So I'm getting there, but it's also pushing me to kind of be like, all right, every day, all right, what we got to do? What's the problem? So like this week, my problem has been I need to find an editor. Like I'm doing the bottleneck in my business has been I'm shooting a lot, but
Hmm.
now I got to sit down and actually edit it, which takes a lot of
The
time.
worst.
Yeah. So now it's like, all right, I need to find an editor. Should I find somebody local? Should find somebody in Bangladesh?
Right.
Um, and so now it's like, all right, and now the video is about me testing out, different editors. Like I'm actually about to send, once we finish this, I'm gonna send over some footage to an editor that hit me up in my DMs. So I'm gonna send some of the stuff to him so we can test out to see if he's a good fit. And then, so like that's why I say like each episode is about testing out or figuring out a problem that I have and fixing the problem and seeing how that adjusts my business going forward.
No, that's dope, man. And you're telling a story at the same time. Like you're taking people on the journey with you.
Right.
You're putting out quality content regarding the journey, and
Hmm.
you're keeping your followers, your audience, updated on your current, like this is now. This is happening like today, this week,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
month, and that's huge. And that's what I feel like that's what social media is supposed to be, where you're learning from each other, you're sharing journeys, you know what I'm saying, and all these things. So, hey, kudos to you. Finding
Appreciate
help,
you.
I could tell you, finding quality help is a bitch, is
Hmm.
a beast these days. We
Hmm.
got we're two people, right? We had little help here and there. I think we had a couple of people help us with things or whatever. But it's like it's one of those things you can't find quality help without paying them. And then you don't want to just take advantage of somebody that does quality work because then that's just all types of moral issues there. But it's like you have to multiply yourself. Like you said, you burned yourself out, but now you're trying to build up the revenue so you can get your team in place and then
Hmm.
expand yourself, expand the company, multiply tasks, delegate some things,